Please welcome our mayor, Michael B. Hancock.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Well, good afternoon, everyone. I know you're eating. I almost got to eat today. Almost. I figured I got the secret now. After 3 years, it just finally hit me. They figured if you don't feed the mayor before he speaks, he will speak more briefly in order to get up and get out. Let me do a couple things before I launch into just some brief comments regarding early childhood education. First of all, I want to ask you to join with me once again. Just celebrate Family Star for the tremendous work that they do on behalf of all of us in this community, on behalf of our children. I want to celebrate Nancy Cohen, the chair of the great board, very impressive board, and certainly to the interim executive director, Vienna Presley. Please join me in once again acknowledging everyone, all the stakeholders. I want to thank Dano for the introduction and also for acknowledging the elected officials who are in the room. I know that I saw a few when I came in. Susan Shepard, councilwoman from District 1, is in the house here. Crisanta Duran, our state representative. Brett Vigil is also here, a representative from Senator Udall's office. To all of our elected officials, you know, when you're part of a group, you become so, you're more empathetic to that group. And I think that public service is one of the most challenging roles any of us can play. I see Arturo Jimenez over here, and Happy Haynes is here as well, Board of Education, both members of the Denver Board of Education. Thank you for being here. Just caught you at the corner of my eye as I looked over. And so I'm always partial to acknowledge our elected officials because it's an honor and privilege to serve, but it's also an honor and privilege for us to have them serve, and so we thank you. I also have several members of my senior team who are in the room today who work with me in shaping our education policies and our youth and children policies in the city of Denver. And I want to just acknowledge them. Erin Brown, who is the Executive Director of Children's Affairs, is here with me somewhere in the room. She was just here. Where are you? Erin's over here. And all of our Children's Affairs people over there. Would you all stand up? These are some of the hardest working people in the city of Denver. Thank you so much, Doc, for being here. Anthony Graves, our Regional Affairs Director, is here as well as Rowena Alegria, the Director of Communications, is in the room. I want to thank all of you for being here as well to support Family Star, all the sponsors and folks who are simply in this room. I think your presence underscores the importance of early childhood education and really the revelation, the epiphany that so many people in this room already knew, but I think in the last decade, maybe decade and a half, we've seen kind of a growing education of the public about the importance of early childhood education. Over here sitting with her daughter is Anna Jo Haynes, who very early on, I consider the guru of early childhood education. Right? Stand up, Anna Jo. Come on now. This superstar. Don't play. I know there's a lot of expertise when it comes to EC in this room, but there is no greater expert than Anna Jo Haynes, perennial expert in our city, our state. This lady, when Mary Louise and I were expecting our first child, instructed me to go home and talk to her stomach. And Anna Jo would tell you, I thought she was crazy. I said, something wrong with you. I talked to my wife, is that not good enough? Now you want me to talk to the stomach. And it was at that point she started me on this journey to understand how a child's brain develops. And I believe that over the last decade and a half, that there's been greater public education and understanding of how a child's brain develops. In 2006, I made the most important vote. I cast the most important vote I ever cast while as a member of Denver City Council when we asked the public to support Denver's foray into early child education on a very aggressive level, Denver preschool program. And we watched. That was in June or July, and we watched as the public simply struggled with understanding why we needed to put money behind sending kids to preschool. And many of us who had started our education years ahead of that were trying and almost in vain to get people to understand that the most important thing we can do is to invest in the developing minds of our children particularly at the ages of 3 and 4. We need to do it while the baby's in the womb. But particularly at the ages of 3 and 4, we need to make that investment. Well, that vote barely won. I think it was like 52 to 48%. Because people didn't understand what we were trying to say. And it's too much to ask people to get into the intricacies of how brain develops and expect them to go, aha. That's not a conversation you have on the campaign trail. It's just important. Today, some almost 10 years later, 34,000 children have come to Denver through Denver preschool program. 34,000. 70% of Denver's 4-year-olds are members, are participants in Denver preschool program. And the kids who are part of that initial group that go through are now, what, 4th graders? And they have tested advanced, or proficient or advanced proficient at much greater rates than kids who have not come through the Denver preschool program. We have proven that the anecdotal information that we had before the campaign is true. Well, come this November, we get the opportunity to not only reauthorize, but to expand and to continue to grow in our knowledge base that this program works, to dip a little deeper and go to our 3-year-olds, hopefully do year-round child care, early child education with our kids. Because if you think summer learning is tough for our high school and middle schoolers and our congressional members, imagine, that was a joke. Imagine what it's like for 4-year-olds who have a break during the summer. For we know if our 3 and 4-year-olds are involved in quality early child education, they enter kindergarten ready to hit the ground learning. They're not behind. Because the power of what Anna Jo Haynes taught me was that if kids go into kindergarten behind, they never catch up over their lifetime. That's why this is so important. And those kids who are prepared in kindergarten, as they enter kindergarten, are exponentially more prepared to read at grade level by 3rd grade and exponentially graduate on time, ready for a career or college. This is the most important thing we can do in this city to not close but eliminate the achievement gap. Because early childhood education is for every child, no matter where they live in this city, no matter what their economic station is in this city, no matter what their parents do for a living. We can eliminate the achievement gap by having greater investment in early child education in programs like Family Star, period. 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 Close the door on the conversation, period. And so I am honored to be here to celebrate the great work that Family Star does. I was completely off of comments. Let me make sure I don't miss nothing and go back and Com says, you were supposed to say this. But I ask you all to join with me and the governor and city council members and other state legislators to stand up and stand up firm and reauthorize the Denver preschool program so we can continue to partner with programs like Family Star and all of the other quality rated early child education centers around this city. There's nothing more important, I believe, that we can be investing in. And I'll be proud to continue to shop in this great city because we know the money is going to good use. Let me close by saying this. This program has become a national model. As many of you know, I became chair of the U.S. Conference of Mayors Education on Excellence Committee. And I have some 82 mayors who are members of that committee all over this country. One of the things that we did was to kickstart what we call the Educational Tour of Excellence, Tour of Excellence, Tour of Education, okay, something like that. It was a tour, and we were talking about educational excellence. And we wanted to see best practices that mayors have been involved with all over the country. And I'll tell you, I was so proud to go to San Antonio, Texas, with Mayor Julian Castro at the time. He is now our U.S. Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. And Mayor Castro had emulated Denver's preschool program just that spring, just the spring before I showed up. And the excitement they share to finally begin to invest appropriately in their little 3 and 4-year-olds. This program is the model. And who are we to say we shouldn't do it again? So I ask you to join with me in spreading the word. Congratulations to Family Star. God bless you. Keep going. And thank you all for standing the gap on behalf of this city, our future of the city, and for our little ones, our most vulnerable children in this community. God bless you all.
Good afternoon. My name is Grisel Garcia. I am the Child and Family Advocate at our Northwest Center. 6 years ago, I came to Family Star as a teacher's assistant. 9 months later, I was the administrative assistant at the Northeast Center. And for 3 years, I was the first face at Family Star Northwest until recently, after becoming the Child and Family Advocate. I am excited to continue shining my light for this amazing organization. Growing up in the Northwest Denver community wasn't easy for me. I was told that no matter how hard I tried, I would eventually fail or not be given the opportunity just because of where I grew up. Family Star believes in their employees just as much as we believe in our children and the families that we serve. Family Star, they believed in me. They encouraged me and kept me pushing to work towards my goals. They pushed me in the direction of thinking about my own professional development and coached me into the direction I wanted to go. For that, I am forever grateful. Family Star not only has changed my life, but has changed my family life as well. Frankie has become so more independent and helpful. He loves to clean as much as he loves to make a mess. I have been able to implement some of what I've learned at Family Star into my home and been able to also use it with my older son and helping my mother shift her ways on raising children when she helps me with my children when I'm unable. I am proud to say that I work for Family Star. I am proud to say that I am a parent at Family Star. I am proud to say that without Family Star, I will not be standing here before you. I am Family Star. I stand here as an example of what we do every day, and I am excited to pass my knowledge along to other families, give them the support they need, and allow them to shine their light onto the community. Thank you.
Bienvenidos and welcome. My name is Gabriela Alcorta, formerly Gabriela Reynoso. A famous proverb states, "Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he grows, he will not depart from it." At the age of 9, I stood at the inauguration of Family Star, and I repeated those same words. My mother, alongside community members, volunteers, neighbors, and even the mayor of Denver at that time, Federico Peña, was present. I was only a young child, yet I was inspired to be a part of that change. Remarkable individuals, including Marta Uriosti. They taught me that change is possible. I became the youngest board member of Family Star when I was 9 years old. I didn't know much then either. Watching them work tirelessly to make a better community had an impact, not only on my life, but it brought a light to our community. To this day, you can walk the community streets, and at the mention of Family Star, it brings a smile. It brought out mothers, not only, and this is a little personal because this kind of hits my home as well, but it brought out mothers not only to be a part of their child's education, but it inspired them to educate children. Many community members, they became Montessori educators. Many community members are still a part of Family Star Montessori staff. My bond with Family Star goes back to 1988, when at the age of 7, I sat and listened as they assembled to discuss exciting changes for our community. In 1988, a vision. I'm a little nervous. And the nails don't help. In 1988, a vision inspired a change. And now our light shines brightly in both northeast and northwest sides of Denver. After years of living in New Mexico, where I acquired my degree, I returned home to Colorado. I am privileged to now be the data and grant specialist for Family Star Montessori School. Thank you for being here today and for allowing us to show how our light was ignited at Family Star. May this light inspire your community. May it inspire your family. May it inspire your life as it has mine. The land is where our roots are. The children must be taught to feel and live in harmony with the earth. Maria Montessori. Thank you.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Corey Councilman, and before I get started, I just have to say that Mayor Hancock got me all fired up here. So I've been spending the last 20 minutes trying to take it down a couple notches. So if I'm all over the place, it's the mayor's fault. Just going to go ahead and say that right now. But anyway, I'm Corey Councilman. I'm on the board with Family Star. I also have 2 kids at Family Star. I was first introduced to Family Star by Jim Barrett, so I know there's a lot of people in this room who know Jim. But he invited me to a Walk Among the Stars and tour of the Northwest facility. And as I went to the classrooms that day, I'd never heard of Montessori. I didn't know what kind of educational programs were going on in the Denver area at that time. And as I went to the classrooms, I could tell that there was something really special going on. The scale of everything in the classroom being to the child, the way that the teachers were interacting with the children. And my wife and I at that time were just starting to kind of try to get pregnant. It took us 2 years to get pregnant with our son, and we were kind of right in the middle of it at that time. And when I saw that, I was like, wow. It was like, we're trying really hard to have a kid, and as soon as this happens for us, this is where I want my child to be. And so we ended up having our son, Zane, in August of 2012. But prior to that, Jim had actually invited me to be on the board. So right about the time we found out we were pregnant. So I've been involved on the board since early 2012. When my son was 6 months old, my wife decided to go back to work. We already had him on the waiting list at Family Star. And unfortunately, at that time, there wasn't a spot open. So we put him into daycare. And so he spent 2 months at daycare before the spot opened. And then once we got him enrolled at 8 months, you could immediately tell a significant difference in how he was learning and the things he was picking up on a regular basis. And it was so different. I mean, it was truly astonishing to me. It was shocking. And, just the quality that was being provided over just kind of, traditional daycare just wasn't, even in the same ballpark. And so my son's 2 now. And just as kind of an example of what Family Star has done for him and continues to do for him, a couple weeks ago, he was kind of walking around the house, kind of babbling on as toddlers do. And he just started just blurting out, counting in Spanish. I was like, what? And I don't think I could call it counting because it was really just saying Spanish numbers, right? Because it wasn't like uno, dos, tres, it's just random Spanish numbers. But I heard that and I was kind of looking at him. And then I looked at my wife and I was like, are you hearing this? I was like, we didn't teach him this. So it's just an example of the kind of things that Family Star does, being able to challenge, each and every child in there to kind of reach their maximum potential. And so when my wife and I found out just over a year ago that we were pregnant with our second child, we immediately got her on the waiting list. And it was kind of a really strange and surreal experience to walk into Family Star and fill out an application for a child that we don't have a name for. We don't know the gender. And in fact, we haven't told a lot of the people who are closest to us that we're even pregnant. But we're sharing this information with the people at the front desk at Family Star. Because it's that important to us to make sure that, we can get our daughter in, the first opportunity that we can. And so many of you may know, some of you may not, but Family Star takes children as young as 8 weeks old in their NIDO program. So our daughter was enrolled at 8 weeks, and so she's been there for 2.5 months now. And even in her, you can see the kind of things that she's getting on a weekly basis at Family Star, and it's just amazing to us, and it's just something that we don't think that we could have gotten, anywhere else. And so we just feel truly fortunate to have found Family Star to provide that opportunity for us. And so that's why I'm here today, and that's what's inspired me to be, a member of the board of directors. All right, and so by a show of hands, how many of you have attended this event before? Very good. It's great to have all you longtime supporters and partners back. So also by show of hands, how many are at this event for the first time today? Wow. Wow, that is absolutely fantastic. So, we're really excited to have all of you here for the first time, and we all look forward to seeing a lot more of you in the future. And so whether this is your first time or you're one of our repeat supporters, I'd like to thank you so much for being here today. The experiences you've heard reflect in a small way the great work Family Star is doing right now, here in our community, as far as educating children, strengthening families, and building communities. All of those are very important and transformational. And this work is dedicated to raising our next generation of adults to shine their lights, and you can be a part of this important activity. And that's why we're here, to ensure that Family Star is here for many years to come, continuing to serve children and families and changing the future of our city, state, and nation. So today, my job is to ask you for your financial support for the critical work going on at Family Star. And specifically, I'm asking for help with our ongoing operations. This is the kind of funding that's really difficult to come by. Each and every day, staff works diligently to ensure that our children shine their lights at Family Star. Their commitment and expertise makes the difference as the foundation of Family Star, but it takes more. It also takes funding. Due to the combined efforts of our sponsors, expenses related to the program today are covered. So this means that every dollar that you contribute today will go directly to the amazing programming offered each day at Family Star. So you have an opportunity to make an immediate impact on our children and families. So I encourage all of you, shine your light. Sponsors, board members, and parents and staff have joined effort this year to present a lead gift for the lunch program in the amount of $46,000. These contributions bring us nearly halfway to our goal of raising $100,000 in funds necessary to fill the gap not covered by grants, tuition, and other fundraising activities. We've invited you here today to join or extend a 5-year pledge to our Rising Star Giving Circle. So at this time, I'd like to ask everyone to open your programs and reference the pledge cards attached to the right-hand side. And also, as everyone's getting your programs open, I'd also like to ask the table captains if you could pass out the envelopes and pens to the guests at your tables right now. That'd be great. Okay, so as you're getting all those out, we've also got a copy of the form up here on the screen. And so here's how this works. The Rising Star Giving Circle has 3 giving levels, all of which are detailed on your pledge cards. The first level is a pledge of $1,000 a year for 5 years. This is our Educate Children level. This level represents the cost to cover tuition for 1 month for one preschool child at Family Star. A gift at this level averages about $80 a month and would allow us to provide an excellent early childhood education experience for one child for each of the next 5 years. The next giving level in the Rising Star Giving Circle is $5,000 a year for 5 years. This is our Strengthen Families level. A gift of this size provides classroom materials for 8 toddler classrooms, benefiting approximately 64 toddlers for a year. The next level in the Rising Star Giving Circle is Build Community. So we know there's many of you out there who are part of a company or foundation, or you may just be in a position to give more. A gift at this level can have a far-ranging impact on the lives of our youth in our community. If you would consider a gift of $10,000 a year for 5 years, this would be a major boost to starting a scholarship program for families most in need, allowing Family Star to extend a quality early childhood education to more families in our community. And on the next line of your pledge card, there's an option to become a monthly sustainer of Family Star and give any amount for any number of months. So I want to ask that you open your hearts and your checkbooks Every gift helps, and your pledge at whatever level you're able to give will make a huge difference for the 210 children and families that we serve each year. And so I just want to thank you in advance, so much for your generous gifts, and especially if you're able to join us at one of our Rising Star Giving Circle levels for the next 5 years. And finally, you may have more ideas for us or another way you'd like to contribute. And if that's the case, please check the box where it says, please contact me, and someone from our office will be happy to give you a call. So when you finish filling out your form, I'd like to ask that you please put it in the envelope provided and pass it back to your table captain. And so go ahead and take a moment to complete your forms. And as you do so, I'll just quickly mention a few facts about our program so you can better understand how your contribution will help sustain. So our home-based program strengthens families that have been previously underserved, and we've got parent educators that make weekly visits to those families and focus on child development, parenting skills, support, and other resources. As Griselle mentioned, we've also got social events twice a month where we get families involved to really help kind of build the communities at the school. And also in 1995, Family Star was chosen as one of only 17 centers nationwide to participate in a new early Head Start program for children 0 to 3. And also, Family Star is one of only 4 programs selected nationwide for a study that examines the impact of Montessori education with low-income families. So what we're doing at Family Star really is unique. We're making an impact in our community. We're being recognized, across the nation, and your support will really help us continue that we do that. All right, so before we wrap up the program, let me just say on behalf of everyone at Family Star, thank you to all of you. Thank you so much. Thank you for taking your time to come here to listen, to learn, and be a part of the amazing work going on at Family Star. We really appreciate you all. So thanks again, and I'll turn it over to Dano to wrap things up for the afternoon.